At the Caltrans building today, and here's her trademark sign. Isn't that fun? Make sure you check in. You gotta write her real name too. Well, this is a new one. In order to get into a public meeting, they want me to show my ID. Pretty sure that's against the law, but we're going to find out in a few minutes if I'm going to be blocked from access to a SANDAG committee meeting. It'll be a first. All right, not only did I lose sleep to be here, but my access to a public meeting was blocked. SANDAG nor any other public agency can require an ID to enter a public meeting, period. SANDAG is inviting another lawsuit in this uninational country. If it wasn't for Anne, I wouldn't even be here, so blame her. So what else I'm hoping to not see today? Children's post-it games. A1 Rebecca Jones alleged that you guys are all adults. If that is true, then let SANDAG grow up and start treating you all as such. Instead of carrot and sticker box checking or multiple choice games, let's start talking innovative ideas outside of a predetermined choice. Let's talk about what each specific community needs and what each form of transportation needs and goals to make it happen. I'll start. Transit passes should be provided by SANDAG for all attendees who are willing to use it. Put our money where your mouths are about taking cars off the road voluntarily. Why is the Transportation Committee not holding MTS and NCTD accountable? The MTS trolley line currently has 7.5-minute frequency for the blue line, while there are 20 to 30-minute waits for the green line and orange lines at night. Does SANDAG believe that people should have to wait up to 30 minutes to begin to get home? But for those who don't care because they don't have to rely on transit, guess what? You're still paying for it. And you're going to start paying more. MTS is seeking an extra $10 fee tax on vehicle registration to help close their deficit that they caused. That's why it's important to pay attention. If trolleys had better frequencies and were kept safe, more people would use it, which would help free up congested roads and highways. Buses or lithium golf carts by circuit would never achieve that. Too many 60-foot buses, like the 227 and IB, are going unused, and they're actually creating traffic. And what has SANDAG done? Propose more of them, when MTS doesn't even have the money to operate them. And the idea of taxing people off the highways via managed toll lanes will never work. They're expensive to operate and maintain and do not deter people from driving to get groceries or go to work. But there needs to be giant billboards on the highways to let people know that it's SANDAG to blame for all the traffic that they experience on a daily basis. Thank you.
The borders between each of our so Brian, Stacy, and Hector are going to go through the specific policy advisory committees with you this morning, but I really just wanted to sort of give you an overview of the workflow and how this all comes together.
The catering. Late coffee. There you go. The Borders Committee needs to get on the right track on working with all borders, not just with Mexico. Tribal nations should be getting their American voices heard. The Transportation Committee needs to start digging into what is not working with the public transit and to ensure it's improved. Regional planning needs to budget for realistic, proven, safe projects with an openness to different views and needs of different areas. Whatever that plan is on page 5 looks like an ugly dystopia. Oversight is missing for the consolidated transit responsibilities, board infrastructure funding strategies. Why did borders fail to come up with the OME toll mitigation fund idea? And why have they failed to support it? Borders failed to establish working relations with surrounding counties and tribal nations or to review significant projects in surrounding counties. The standards of conduct and ethics only addresses financial issues, not ethical expectations or practices. Do sandwiches or cookies or burritos count as gifts that could influence someone's positions? How many does it take to add up to $420? I've gotten a few. And there's nothing about meetings having to be in downtown San Diego all the time. Why not in IB or Lemon Grove? And page 50 shows that the entire state has not yet been fully regionalized, which is proof we don't need MPOs. Thank you.
Cesar and Purita, representing a small political unit, District 9 of my finest city, our finest city, but crooks led. Pardon me, I'm not attacking them. I am attacking the intangible force destroying our city. Since 1984, why did they allow it in a residential designated zone? This is just an example of this thing that I would like to input in this particular item. Uncle Sam trusted civilians, non-government employee. CEO is the assigned leadership, civilian. Logical. Uncle Sam distrusts politicians. Politicians who are doing business aside from governance. Stakeholder is stronger than representing the have-nots.
That concludes the public commenters.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, do any of the members have any comments or questions?
Investing in more sustainable transportation choices. So that's a surprise to many people, and we wonder, why is it so hard? Most of the cars that are driving around are electric cars. We should be able to reach that 19%. You are right. If we could take credit for that, we would. CARB changed the rules with this plan too. We used to be able to take some credit for the investments that we were making in electric vehicle infrastructure. We've been developing an electric vehicle rebate program plan. We're no longer allowed to take credit for that because they feel like the state and federal government sort of have that under control, and we're allowed to only take credit for the things that we're doing or we're investing in the region. So this plan is harder than any other plan that we put together for that reason. But I have good news to share with all of you. I shared this with your staff at a joint working group session that we had last week, but CARB recently approved our technical methodology, and that's a very big deal. You might wonder why that's such a big deal, but that means that they approved the method and the data that we used in our model, and the model shows that we met our 19%. In fact, we are just over 19.2% with the draft plan, so that's very good news. It took us 9 months of negotiation with CARB and going back and forth on our technical methodology. So to get that thumbs up a couple of weeks ago was a major milestone for the plan, and it allows me to actually share with you the results of the modeling. We've also been able to reach our air quality conformity requirements as well. So the plan that we're presenting to you today is a plan that could get approved by the federal and state government on the basis of air quality and our GHG requirements. I mentioned that we did a lot of work with the board, policy advisory committees, working groups to get to this point in the plan. We had workshops with the board, we had workshops in your communities, we did working group sessions with your staff, the technical staff.
For those that don't know, circulation means we don't need to hear you. Page 60, what is that image of some kind of modern trolley and train to Mexico? That's outside of SANDAG's jurisdiction. It would not benefit most of the county. No to giving anything to a country that pollutes us on a daily basis. Border bias is real. The toxic fire-prone lithium battery cars and buses need to go. They're destroying the roads and highways by their heavy weight and their fiery crashers. Increased service for bus routes is not going to financially happen. SANDAG projects like bike lanes on Industrial Imperial Avenue when the streets and sidewalks are in horrible condition are an insult and dangerous. Nobody's going to carpool because of managed toll lanes or shoulders. It says make transportation more accessible and affordable. Okay, so how is SANDAG making it more accessible and affordable to drive or own a car? If SANDAG aims for better connections between different types of transportation, get rid of the coaster. It's inefficient and expensive. Again, the city of San Diego and East County must be separated, or this is all disinformation by default. The only one that makes sense is safer roads in rural areas, especially for emergency evacuations. Make that the priority, and then also make sure we have these chairs at SANDAG. They're much more comfortable in the back. Thank you.
Plus 2 new sales taxes, plus an MTS tax and an NCTD tax.
There's not an NCTD tax. The language here indicates that state law authorizes MTS and NCTD to do a sales tax or some sort of fee impact, but NCTD does not have one. We are not assuming that NCTD will do one for their system. What we have right now is just the MTS.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I misread that. Thank you for the clarification on that.
Ron, you have a question?
Yeah, a couple. One, yeah, there seemed to be a lot of emphasis on transit, increased transit, micro-transit, and all the communities wanting more transit. I know that there was a COA, the Comprehensive Operational Analysis, done about 25 years ago on transit. And what it found out was a lot of routes at that point, there was a number of routes that the amount of subsidy over fare box for some routes was over $50 per rider. It was that excessive. That was 25 years ago. I hate to see what it is now. And now we're wanting to expand a whole bunch more into different communities. At some point, I think we need to see on every route, and this needs to be a public document, what is the subsidization for every route? Because, as I say, some routes may do very well, and there's a difference between public transit and mass transit. And, you know, I remember at that time there was one route went out to Borrego. It was phenomenal. It was over $60 per rider subsidy. And we had a guy get up and he made a big deal. His mother needed to get to her doctor's appointment in downtown San Diego once every 2 weeks. So therefore we needed to have a bus out there. And I said something that elected officials aren't supposed to say, but I said, wait a minute, that's your mother? You need to be taking care of your mother, not the residents of San Diego County, so that she can get to her doctor's appointment once every 2 weeks for that kind of cost. The other one, the question I would have is, we talk about taking off the tolls on the 125. Where is that funding coming from to pay off those bonds?
The revenues that are pledged to pay off those bonds are from the tolls themselves that are being collected. The first call date is 2027, and we will have the majority of those funds available to call most of the bonds. We also received $20 million from the state that is in our accounts now to pay off those bonds. It will, the break-even point right now is in the 2028-29 range for toll revenues that are collected to fully support the repayment of those bonds, at which time the tolls could be removed based on a number of other factors that are being considered.
I'm just saying that because I know at the time when we voted to buy that from the public-private partnership, it was emphatic among the board members that any payoff would come from the tolls. And but at the same time, one of the things that SANDAG put into that to be able to make that purchase was they took a number of projects off the books. And that was basically the 805, because they claimed that this was going to take the traffic off the 805. Fact check, didn't happen. 805 was crazy. And so the things that were allocated, which was southern Chula Vista, those got built. Northern Chula Vista, National City, and southeast San Diego, those improvements got taken off the books so that we could make that purchase. That still needs to be made whole also.
Costs us a lot of traffic and also a lot of accidents. So I would love to see that incorporated as well.
It's in there. I failed to mention it today, but we have funding for grade separations throughout the region for trolley, low sand corridor, sprinter corridor, so that we can increase safety, improve traffic flow, and increase the frequency and speed of those lines. So I appreciate it.
Guess what? I can do a vlog while these people are discussing. Here we go. Look at this. These weirdos. This guy. Look at this whole run. Are they really I don't think they're really discussing anything. It just looks like they're just having fun conversation. So I did make it in, as you can see, and my speeches, but as far needs to get out. I think I got it out, so I'm not quite as frustrated now, but I am wondering, what are these breakout sessions? They don't look like they're achieving anything. Maybe that's just my opinion, but look for yourself. Do you see anything there that you could learn from? A bunch of bus routes. Nothing about making it work. And then North County. Here's the problem, is when you see San Diego put with East County, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Like everything they do. There's some of those San Diego, what were they called? Crooks earlier by Cesar. Hey, Truth, here in downtown San Diego. As always, it seems. Here I am with all my pastries. There we go. That's my tax dollars. Your tax dollars too, and thank you for getting me this via the last SANDAG Joint Committee of the Transportation, Borders, Regional Planning. That's the other one. As you can see, I've enjoyed some, and I'm going to have to enjoy more because I did not have time for lunch. There was too much talking. Even when I'm not allowed to talk to people, people want to talk to me, and that's okay. I always welcome conversation. That's how you get things done. Over pastries, of course, and coffee, and bagels with cream cheese, and more coffee. I should have filled up the coffee, actually. But yeah, so I ended up getting into the building after all, thanks to Caltrans's and Fox, of all people. But as I told her, I thanked her again. I was like, this is where you got to be nice to people. Critique them, but don't be a jerk, because you might actually need a favor one day. And I heard something, I think it was KPBS who actually said one time, it's different when you actually have to work with people, then you're going to be less hostile to them. Well, that's the way I always treat the meetings, is there's no reason to be hostile unless someone gives you a reason. Say what you got to say, make your point, be honest, be true, be you. But you don't need to be unnecessarily rude or condescending to people, because they're not dumb. They're not in those seats because they're dumb. That's a philosophical debate, maybe, or point, but that was some craziness this morning. I'm glad it all worked out. I signed in and got my name tagged without showing an ID, and I think it was akin to requiring a vaccine passport to enter a building. No, you have to put your foot down and say no. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that ever. But it all worked out, and I had some good conversations with people and got to expose it and tell SANDAG, you're inviting a lawsuit. And really, I could have. If they hadn't let me in, could have sued SANDAG today for having a meeting where there is no public access. You can't impede a meeting. I said it many times to many people, you can't do it. So sometimes they gotta learn the hard way. So it started off stressful, but it ended okay. And I have another meeting now, the Public Safety Committee of SANDAG. And that was my main goal, is to make that meeting, because I legitimately care about the issues of safety. Fires, trafficking, illegal migration, the horses, Netwig and Barkley horses, that's important as well. I'm going to try and break up everything today. And some of it's going to be brought up for me, so I'll just be commenting on whatever presentations they have that Mayday Ray has scheduled, for those who remember him. Actually a really nice guy, if you get to know him. And there was a press conference in front of the county today that I did not have time to go to. But I saw the pictures, Bill Wells and Ed Musgrove and characters of the county also in attendance. I knew it'd be a good theater show. Not that it's fake, actually, what they're proposing their bill. I don't know that it'll pass, but getting violent criminals out, who would be against it? Or so, us normal people would ask, and we know how the anti-ICE crowd tends to operate, not on logic most of the time. Not everybody, not collectivizing people, but some people just don't have logic. If you disagree with them, they just call you a racist or something crazy. Ad hominems, that's all they got, rather than facts. And as council member told me, they are not for feelings and fictions over facts. Facts need to supersede all of the nonsense that happens. So that's what I'm going to be promoting today, and hopefully at every meeting. These people are having a party over here. Listen to that.
Different leaders and subjects are discussing the region. So this committee is super important in the aspect of discussing public safety, the information, and exchanging thoughts and information about that.
I see a lot of familiar faces, but not everyone who's familiar to me, because I'm old, was on the Public Safety Committee when we last met, and it has been a while. Sir, would you mind starting for us?
Yes.
And I know you're returning, but for the benefit of everyone.
No, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Sydney Key, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, San Diego Field Office, which encompasses all the borders at ports of entries along the California, Baja California region, San Isidro, Tecate, Calexico, Andrade, and so on. Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Marshal?
Steve Stafford, U.S. Marshal. Our jurisdiction is all San Diego County, Imperial County.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
David Quaid, Rancho Santa Fe Fire Chief, and I'm also the president for the San Diego County Fire Chiefs Association.
Thank you, sir. Chief Connolly, last time you were here, you had a different shirt.
I did. Paul Conley, retired San Diego PD, current chief of Coronado Police Department, and also representative from the San Diego County Chiefs and Sheriffs Association.
Hello, Luz Molina, council member for the City of National City. I am happy to join the Public Safety Committee. This is my first year on this committee. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Jorge Duran. I'm currently the Chief Investigator for the District Attorney's Office, and I'm a returning member of the subcommittee. I'm also retired from San Diego Police Department.
Hi, my name is Bill Wells. I'm the mayor of the city of El Cajon.
Henry Foster, City of San Diego, Council Member, 4th District.
Kelly Martinez, Sheriff, San Diego County.
County Supervisor Bill Anderson.
And I'm Tony Ray, the Director of Argus. I want to thank you all for attending this meeting.
Kevin Shin, City Council Member for City of Carlsbad and retired Fire Captain for Culver City Fire Department.
Ed Musgrove, San Marcos City Council, and retired Sheriff's Captain.
Mario Orso, SANDAG CEO.
Noel Divon, Manager at Argus.
Octavio Rodriguez, Principal Criminal Justice Researcher, SANDAG.
Peter Stevens, San Diego Legal Counsel.
Jessica Heredia, Living Grove City Council, newly elected.
Retired Deputy Chief, San Diego PD.
Alex Hernandez, Chief of Police, National City.
Brian Clark, Special Agent in Charge for the Drug Enforcement Administration, and this is my very first meeting here. I've been here about 8 months.
Logan Manning, I'm the Law Enforcement Coordinator for the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Good afternoon, everybody. Deputy Chief Abby Torres with the San Diego County Probation Department.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you coming in.
Hey there, Henry. I'm the lead investigator into SANDAG. And Joel, nice of you to finally show up to a meeting. A ton of safety concerns have popped up since the last meeting, who knows when. You got the fires, the arsonist. County Fire Chief Beecham said they got a junk helicopter that can't even be flown at night and has been out of service for 8 months. None of them informed us until last month, which I consider negligence and dereliction of duty. Also, nobody's investing in putting water sources upon mountaintops for easy access to water near fire-prone areas. There's been more violence in or around trolleys with no solutions and no enforcement, regardless of what MTS claims. At National City, Luz, a business owner, was having a photo shoot done to promote their business, and some guy ran in and stole the photographer's equipment. I entered the business shortly after when the police were on scene. The business owner told me that homeless people are being recruited to steal and sell to gangs and theft rings. We've got horses and dogs being kept in absolutely deplorable conditions on Artesian Road in Rancho Santa Fe under the miscare of Deborah Barkley and Craig Netwig. The county's done nothing. DA Summer Stephan finally opened a case on the dogs that have been reported to bite the neighbors, but has done nothing about the 3 dead horses for like the 3rd year in a row. Maybe it's because both Deborah and Craig were reported to point guns at people, including a CBS 8 news crew. Many suspect it's because Network has a company called Kingly Technologies that provides the membrane chemicals for projects like impure water to turn toilet water into toxic tap water. At the Board of Supervisors, that Joel also skips out on, some of the Immigrants' Rights Consortium minions were calling Kelly and all the deputies pigs for working with ICE. And one of those children happened to pop up at the Imperial Beach City Council the other night, I guess because the ACE cult made a call. But Kelly, I really appreciate you going on to ABC 10 and debunking the lies that media and various criminal communist organizations have been feeding to the people that have protested and rioted upon our streets. I actually played some of that interview for people in National City to debunk the propaganda, and boy, did some of them love that. I actually played some of that interview for people in National City to debunk the propaganda, and boy, did some of them love that. But you know what? I'm happy to be the minority anywhere I go. But you know what? I'm happy to be the minority anywhere I go. Thank you. And unfortunately, we have some county supervisors that have enabled human trafficking. We have some county supervisors that have enabled human trafficking by trying to declare the county a so-called sanctuary county. And Kelly, since you immediately countered the county's unlawful nonsense, I can get a little bit closer to saying office rather than department. The day we have a streamlined immigration process with secured borders is when we're going to see these numbers start to decrease. So Ed, I'm going to give you a C- today. You got room for improvement. Thank you. So Ed, I'm going to give you a C- today. You got room for improvement. Thank you. Here's some deputies in response. Hopefully nothing bad happened. And of course, today's celebratory meal includes Mediterranean. That's what it's called. It's a wrap with eggplant, fries, avocado, other veggies, and you can get it from Falafel, California, which is a really great place downtown. If you've never been here, I definitely recommend it. Hey, so as I'm enjoying this really, really good sandwich, I'm not kidding about that. This is amazing. It's really good. The Public Safety Committee of SANDAG was interesting. You got a new chair. Jose's out. He's out. Censure to know, as deserved. Well, Ed Musgrove from San Marcos is the new chair, and he has some kinks to work out. I don't know how many times he's chaired a meeting. I don't know if he has the experience. He has the public safety experience, that's for sure. Went pretty well, but a lot of talking in the presentation, so we got cut to 60 seconds again by the end. Blair Beekman, of all people, actually said what I kind of wanted to say, which was he could have done a minute 30 if he were that concerned, if he saw where it was headed. Oh well, he's got to learn. So I gave him a C- today. But hey, I got some harsh words too from a certain unnamed supervisor, so it goes both ways. A crazy and fun day. I got to see a lot of people. Mario Orso, the CEO, Bill Wells, Maribel Cajon, everybody knows him, right? So that's the news. I want to give a shout out to somebody I haven't shouted out. Laura Cobal, council member from the city of Santee, who is now on the Pollution Control District. As I was talking to Cesar Javier about, I said, you'll like her. She's a really nice person. She will listen to your concerns. So she better live up to that or she's going to get in trouble. Kind of like Lou's on the Audit Committee. She better live up to the expectations or she's going to get called out. But she's the definition of accountability, so she don't have to worry about a thing. So I'm going to finish eating the rest of my sandwich here. So delicious. The least I could get, along with my huge container worth of pastries that our tax dollars paid for. That's why you should care. Oh, and other reason you should care about transportation issues is SANDAG was discussing new taxes today. Bet you didn't know that. MTS is looking for a tax or two and a $10 vehicle registration fee. And apparently SANDAG is potentially looking for another tax as well. So there's at least two taxes. At least. I think there's probably more fees and taxes that everyone is gonna try and do because the state spent us into a deficit. You know, remember when they had a surplus and then somehow went the opposite direction? Maybe that had something to do with the lockdowns, do you think? SANDAG learned a lesson not to block public access to a public meeting. Because for real, could be a lawsuit. I don't know. I was let in, but other people were not. So there was disenfranchisement of certain voices today. It's okay, I got to be a martyr for a cause. Do you think you should prove your personal status to participate in society? Or do you think you have a right, a creator endowed right, to live your life? I'm gonna go with that one myself.